So now I'm going to show you the inside of the 2018 Timber Ridge 24 RKS Titanium Series. We're going to start here with what we call the control panel area. And over here, just kind of starting left to right, here's the switch for the electric awning. So you can just hit extend, or hold retract to run the awning in or out. It'll stop when it gets fully out. Slide control also here. With the slide out, just hold it down. It'll run all the way in and out and stop. First light switch runs your core ceiling lights. Next one is the LED light strip under the awning. Moving over here is the water pump switch. The water pump's what you're going to use when you go camping in the mountains, say. You're just going to turn the pump on, it's going to pressurize, and then it'll just wait till you open up a faucet and the pump will run and draw it from the freshwater holding tank supply. Moving over to the right a little bit further here, we have the water heater on gas and then the water heater on electric, and these are labeled. So say the gas, we'll turn the water heater on gas. The little red dot here between the switches, that will go out as soon as the water heater has lit on gas. I'm going to turn it off now, but that stands for direct spark ignition fault. So if it does not ignite and take off, that red dot's going to stay on, just let you know that it failed and it's waiting for you to, say, cycle the water heater again or confirm that the bottles are open. The water heater on electric, use that in a campground setting, where you're plugged into shore power. You can just turn it on electric. It'll just heat the water, with electricity, and works out great, really efficient that way. Gas is obviously a lot faster to heat the water up, but, electric is sure nice in those parks. The push button monitor panel here, you can hit the battery button and it tells you battery level condition. Also fresh water, black water, which is the toilet tank. And then this particular rig has two gray tanks, so gray 1 and gray 2 being the kitchen. So the bathroom, shower, and sink, and then the kitchen on two separate holding tanks. This vehicle also has a 10-watt solar panel, which is the first switch on the left here. The little 10-watt solar panel is really designed for putting the trailer in storage. You go put it out in a paid storage lot. You can turn the battery disconnect in the compartment, turn on the 10-watt solar, and it'll trickle charge while the vehicle's sitting there in storage. So it's really designed to be battery disconnect, trickle charging in that setting. If you really want it to keep up with your usage and things, we like to upgrade with larger solar, and we can go over that a little bit later. It is on an on-off switch because it does not have a charge regulator. So in other words, it doesn't know if you're plugged into power and this was left on, it doesn't know any better that your batteries are staying charged by power, and it will, could possibly overcharge. So just probably turn it off anytime you're plugged in, and really you can have it on anytime you're not plugged in. The switch on the right, which is a red switch here, this is the freshwater tank heater. So in really Arctic cold conditions, there's a 12-volt heat pad on the bottom of the freshwater supply tank that just keeps that tank extra warm. So in those really cold, below freezing conditions, it can aid in the use of the furnace and things to keep the water supply working. So now we'll move over here to this Norcold refrigerator, and the controls may vary slightly between refrigerator models, but they all are basically very similar. So we're going to turn on the power button here, which lights up the display. Green light's telling us we're on. And then the next button here is the mode button. Right now this thing came on gas, but if we hit this mode button and it says A for automatic and then the little plug-in for electricity, we're not plugged in now, so it jumps straight over to gas, which is the little flame there. So if you're on A for auto, and that may look different on different fridges, but in an automatic setting, it's always going to look for electricity first. If it finds that you're not plugged in or lose power or whatever, it's going to automatically go to gas for you. As soon as power is restored, it's going to automatically jump right back to power. So that's where we leave the refrigerators in most cases, to where it'll just take care of you. You don't have to worry if somebody unplugs the cord or whatever. It'll just switch and save all your food. Now you can also hit the mode button, and you can go to electric only or gas only if you really want to isolate that mode and make it stay on just one mode. But auto is just so easy, you can let it do its thing. Temperature is the next control button here. You can see the 5 snowflakes. That is on the maximum setting. So we can just cycle up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 being the coldest. So most likely we'd probably run this in level 3, somewhere right in the middle there. Remember, with refrigerators, anytime you're running them, always stay parked level so that coolant can flow through the coils in the back of the refrigerator. Normal travel and things like that are totally fine, but anytime it's parked, just stay as level as can be so that coolant can flow freely. Go ahead and just hold that button down and we'll turn that off. Okay. Microwave, just like any microwave, just to be plugged into power for that. Light and fan here when you're cooking. This model has a little knife rack back there. The glass top, you can fold this back to use the range top. You have a sparker, like a barbecue, that'll ignite the top 3 burners. So here's left, center, and right, okay? So we can, turn on that left one, for instance, and just click away until that lights. So the sparker does the top 3 on individual controls there. Now the oven in all these RVs, you still have to light with a lighter, and we like to use a long neck camping lighter to kind of keep your hands out of the way and so forth. But when you want to light the oven, turn it to pilot. Most of them works better if you hold the knob depressed, okay? So we're holding it depressed on pilot, and it's going to be hard to see way down here, but back underneath here, there's a little pilot assembly. You're going to hold your flame right at the tip of that pilot assembly and get the pilot lit. Wait for a little bit, turn it up to say 350, and you'll see the whole burner come on and the oven is going. So that's the only thing that you have to light with a lighter is that oven right there. So, and yes, you can go back to pilot and leave the pilot going, but we always suggest when you're done cooking, just shut them all off and then just turn them off. That way there's no gas flowing or anything there. Propane alarm down here. A little black device with a green light. That's a propane alarm. It's hardwired in all the time, so if there's power to the vehicle, that's always going to be on. So propane sinks down the floor, it'll set that off. Also has a smoke alarm up here with a 9-volt battery, and there's another one that looks just like that in the bedroom for carbon monoxide, also with a 9-volt battery. Still kind of moving around in the circle here. We get to the mountain dinette. You can make this down into a bed pretty easy. Probably just take the cushions out just to give yourself more room. I just grab the sides of the table and jiggle as you pull the table up off the legs. And basically the legs are just pressed into bases on the floor and on the bottom of the table. So just pop the table off, remove the legs, set them underneath there, set the table down on the shelf, fills the gap, just put the cushions back in, and you've got a nice big bed there. Moving around to the TV and stereo controls and everything. This is the Furrion AM/FM stereo, CD, DVD player, does everything. It does standard definition DVDs, just not Blu-ray DVDs. But it does Bluetooth, so if you have music on your phone, you can hit the Bluetooth button and sync it and send it right over there to the stereo, which is kind of fun. So you have zones 1 and 2. Zone 1 is inside speakers. Zone 2 is exterior speakers. The Bluetooth button's the second from the right here, and then the far right button, that is how you cycle through all the various modes, like AM, FM, and then different plugins that you can plug into the thing there, like iPods and things like that. So if you put a movie in, it'll go right into the TV. You're going to hit source or input on the remote control, and just go down to HDMI 1, and that's going to be where the movie is. And we have a video on how to operate your TV and stereo system, which will talk about getting your over-the-air channels and cable and all that stuff. So we'll just kind of keep moving around in the circle here. This has the load center right up here in the hallway, so if you push the top, this will open up, and all your electric, 110 breakers, and all your 12-volt fuses. And they're all labeled nicely, but your electric breakers are like your air conditioning, your microwave, your electric side of the water heater, things like that. Fuses are like your water pump, your furnace, your lighting, all your 12-volt items. And then hopefully we can see the thermostat here in the hallway. So on this AirXL thermostat, which works with this Coleman air conditioner and furnace and everything, you hit the rectangle at the bottom and it turns the device on. Hit it again, and we're in our fan mode. So there's fan low, fan on high. That's just the air conditioner fan only. If you get to cool, that is air conditioning, and there's high and low, and then even some auto settings for that. And then hit the button again, here's heat. So you simply just push up and down to set the heat wherever you'd like it, and it's going to keep you right there. Hit it again to go off. So it'll go back to room temperature. Now with air conditioner, there's cool, high, and low, and then there's cool, high, and low in an auto setting. Auto just shuts the fan off when it gets to temperature, and then the whole thing comes back on when it needs to. If you're just on cool, high, for instance, the fan won't shut off, just the compressor. So kind of nice sometimes to have that white noise if there's, traffic outside or what have you. You can be on cool, high, and have that fan running all the time. Auto will shut it off. Bathroom on this model, pretty straightforward. We have a porcelain toilet. You know, just when you're getting started, obviously it's good to flush a few gallons of water down the toilet along with your RV chemical. Kind of have some water and chemical in the bottom of the tank to get started. You can just gently depress the pedal to add water to the bowl, so you can use it and then push the pedal all the way down to flush. So pretty easy there. The shower has a little locking hasp, but you definitely want to lock for travel. So just make sure you throw that hasp around that glass shower door anytime you're hitting the road. Also is equipped with a max air fan in the ceiling there, which has a wall remote. You can see it there. So on this one here, you can simply just hit, you know, the fan on button and the lid will raise and the fan will come on. You can keep hitting that button to cycle through the various speeds, you know, so you have various speeds on the fan. If you just hit fan off, the fan will shut off, vent will close. And then you can also just open or close the vent without the fan over here on the side. In the bathroom, this one's equipped with the magnifying mirror and such. This is the ground fault. Now in this particular vehicle, that is the only GFCI outlet in the vehicle. So if you're plugged into power and the receptacles don't work, this is the one to reset. You just push the reset button right there and a little red light comes on to let you know. Okay, I'll just close this door. Moving on up into the bedroom. They're all pre-wired for solar. All these outdoor RV trailers are all pre-wired for solar, so a little sticker indicating that the wiring comes down that front cap. So, you know, right up in here, there's a little access panel to be tapped into if you want to do a charge regulator and things like that. Has another max air vent fan in the ceiling, and this one has the remote, very similar to the one in the bathroom, with your fan speeds. Other than this one, you can do the plus or minus. You can actually do a temperature setting, so you can have the fan say come on when the vehicle reaches 80 degrees and so forth. So reversible and everything as well. So okay, has a bedroom TV DVD player up there. It's all 12 volt obviously, but there's a DVD player right in the side. Make sure you buckle that for travel obviously too. Storage under the bed. You can lift up the bed frame here for storage. And then the bottom half, there's a drawer on the left and right sides, kind of separating that in two, which is really nice. So it's not just one big pile of gear. You can separate that in two. Let's see, and then let's do the remote control. So the in the exterior video that you saw before this one, you can use that remote control to run, you know, the awning and the stabilizer jacks and all that stuff. But also you can do the slide out. So the remote control looks a lot like an iPhone. You know, you can touch that home button at the bottom. It turns on. The passcode is just 4 zeros. You know, hit 4 zeros to log into the thing. And then you can just select everything. It'll say slide out, awning. You just touch that button, get in that mode, and then hold left or right, and that slide will run. So hit the home button to go back and just, again, select the next thing. So it's kind of nice, and it docks right over here in this little handle, or cradle, I'm sorry. But it's great. You can watch, you know, inside, outside when that slide's going. You can step out there, make sure that tree's not too close, and run the slide. So it comes in pretty handy. Watch that awning as it's going out, you know, if it's getting too close to a tree. So, and then this vehicle here is equipped with the option of 2 reclining rocker chairs. These are really nice. You can, you know, position these to face the TV. Works out really well. We can also get a trifold hide-a-bed in this model here too, which makes into an extra bed, and those are very comfortable as well. So, well, that's been the inside walkthrough of a 2018 Timber Ridge 24 RKS Titanium Edition.